and welcome to Learn Yourself. Today we are going to see another set of questions from the chapter number 1, and this chapter is from CBSE Standard 10. Earlier we have seen solved questions from the page number 6 and page number 10. That was my video 1 of 2. So today we are going to complete the questions from the page number 13 and from our main exercise. So this video will be 2 of 2. So the first question is, why does the color of CuSO4 solution change when an iron nail is dipped in it? First of all, we are taking CuSO4 solution. What is CuSO4? It is copper sulfate solution. So let us try to understand that when these two will mix, which reaction will happen. So CuSO4 solution. So it has to be in aqueous medium. Aqueous medium is in water. We are dissolving crystal of CuSO4. Then plus iron nail. Now whenever it is an iron nail, it has to be definitely Fe. So Fe, and this is a nail. So the state of Fe is solid. So in between two, which reaction will take place? Here it is copper and here it is Fe. We know that copper's reactivity is less than Fe. So Fe is going to replace copper from the compound copper sulfate. So it will be FeSO4 plus Cu. Now FeSO4 will be in aqueous solution and Cu will be solid. So this reaction is displacement reaction. Why this is displacement reaction? Because highly reactive iron has displaced lower reactive copper from the copper sulfate. So this will give us iron sulfate and copper as a solid. So now what they are asking that, why does the color of copper sulfate solution change when iron nail is dipped in it? Now whenever it is a solution of copper sulfate, it will give us blue color because copper sulfate compound is of blue color and it will impart blue color in our solution. Now whenever this Cu has been displaced by Fe, it will become FeSO4. So this Cu will become solid. This Cu is solid and now this is FeSO4. It is CuSO4 which gives us blue color, not FeSO4. Cu is now solid. So it won't give blue color to the solution. So the blue color of the solution will fade once the reaction is completed, and it will start fading the blue color when this displacement will start happening. Which compound is giving color to solution? CuSO4. Now that CuSO4 will break once the Fe will take place of Cu. Cu will not give us blue color. So the CuSO4, once that compound will break, our blue color will start fading out. So earlier, as you can see in the figure, earlier it was dark blue. Now once this reaction will happen and we will start getting the FeSO4 from CuSO4 and Fe, the blue color will fade. So this is how you can write your answer. If they will ask you to draw it and explain, then you have to draw this two test tube as I have shown in the figure. Otherwise you can write this, but equation is very important to mention. So color of the solution is because of the CuSO4 compound, or you can write copper sulfate compound. Then you have to mention this displacement equation, and then once iron nail will be dipped in it, above displacement reaction happens and color of solution fades due to the formation of FeSO4. So here three things are important to mention. The reaction, then this is a displacement reaction, so it will show that you are taking out Cu and imparting Fe into the FeSO4, which is responsible to fading of the color. So this is the way you have to write answer. So our next question is, give an example of double displacement reaction. First of all, what is double displacement reaction? In double displacement reaction, in reactants there will be two reactant compound. They will interchange their ions. So here the first example I have written is calcium chloride will react with, how will you pronounce this? This is sodium, this is carbonate. Sodium carbonate. Calcium chloride will react with sodium carbonate and will give us, let us understand this reaction. First you note down these two reactions. Now we are understanding this, that calcium and sodium, these two are positive ions. This is negative ion, this is negative ion. So reactant A's positive will go with reactants B's negative. That is an interchange of ion. So calcium will react with this positive will react with this negative, and this negative will react with this positive. Now let us see the result. Na will go with Cl, so it is NaCl. This we have balanced, so 2 is here. Now calcium will go with carbonate, so this is calcium carbonate. So this is double displacement. They are interchanging their ions, so that's why it is double displacement. What is happening in single displacement? In displacement reaction, Fe plus CuSO4 will give us FeSO4 plus Cu. Only one displacement will happen. Here we can see two displacement. So this is double displacement reaction. Now second example. ZnSO4, that is zinc sulfate, will react with, what is this NH4? Ammonium carbonate. Zinc sulfate plus ammonium carbonate. Now let us see that zinc and sulfate. This is positive, this is negative. This is positive, this is negative. So this positive will go with this negative and this negative will go with this positive. So which first compound we will get here? Zinc carbonate. Zinc carbonate. And then second is NH4 twice SO4. So NH4 twice SO4. So to understand this, you need to learn how to frame molecular formula, how to give a name to any compound, and then how to balance an equation. So these are the example of double displacement reaction. So do you feel that this solved exercise has helped you in the learning or solved your doubt? If yes, then give us a like. If not, then please do write us in a comment box. I will help you out. And don't forget to subscribe for many more important videos. Third question. Identify the substances that are oxidized and the substances that are reduced in following reaction. First of all, let us recall our knowledge for oxidation and reduction. When we will say that this substance is getting oxidized. So when the oxygen is added, then it is getting oxidized. When oxygen is removed from the compound or substance, then it is being reduced in the reaction. Oxygen is added, oxidized, oxygen is removed, reduced. So now let us see first reaction. In this sodium is there, then it is reacting with oxygen and we will get sodium oxide. So here directly this oxygen is being added to sodium. So this is our sodium oxide. So where this oxygen is being attached with sodium. Earlier oxygen was there? No. So sodium is being oxidized in this reaction. Oxygen is added with sodium. So wherever the oxygen is added, that substance is oxidized. So earlier oxygen was not there. After reaction, oxygen is added with sodium. So sodium is oxidized. So you have to write that sodium is oxidized in this reaction. Now second, copper oxide plus hydrogen. We will get copper plus water. Here from one substance oxygen is being removed and added to another substance. So here this is copper oxide, it is becoming copper. So oxygen is removed from this. So copper oxide is being reduced in this because this is removal of oxygen. And earlier hydrogen is alone, now oxygen is combined with it. So hydrogen is oxidized. So this is a redox reaction, as I have discussed earlier in my video, that when two things are happening similarly in one reaction, oxidation and reduction, then this reaction is known as redox reaction. The copper oxide, not only copper oxide is getting reduced to Cu. How can we say that? Copper oxide is getting reduced to Cu. So who is getting reduced? Not Cu, but copper oxide is getting reduced. Now hydrogen is getting oxidized. So hydrogen is oxidized to H2O. Hydrogen is oxidized to H2O. So this is the way you have to write that which substance is reduced to what, which substance is oxidized to what. Moving to our main exercise from page 14-15. So first is, this is the category of multiple choice question. First question is, which is incorrect? From A, B, C, D, which thing is incorrect? So this is the equation what they have given to us. Lead oxide reacting with carbon and will give us lead and carbon dioxide. Now we have to see which one is getting reduced and which one is getting oxidized. Let us first see from the equation itself. Oxygen is there, oxygen is not there. So this is getting reduced. PbO will become Pb and carbon will become carbon dioxide. Carbon will become carbon dioxide. Where oxygen is added, that is oxidation, and carbon is getting oxidized, and here oxygen removal is happening. So this is reduction reaction. And lead oxide is getting reduced to lead. Lead oxide is reduced to lead and carbon is oxidized to carbon dioxide. So now lead is reduced. No. Which one is reduced? Lead oxide is reduced to lead. So this is wrong. Carbon dioxide is oxidized. Carbon dioxide is oxidized? No. Carbon is oxidized to carbon dioxide. So this is wrong. Carbon is oxidized. Yes, carbon is oxidized to carbon dioxide. This is correct. Lead oxide is reduced. Lead oxide is reduced to lead. Yes, this is correct. So these two are correct. These two are wrong because lead is not getting reduced. Lead oxide is getting reduced. Carbon dioxide is not oxidized. Carbon is oxidized to carbon dioxide. So these two are wrong. So answer for the first is A and B. So this A and B both are incorrect for the first one. Moving to our second question. Second question is Fe2O3 plus 2Al iron oxide plus aluminium will give us aluminium oxide plus iron. This is an example of which reaction? Combination, decomposition, double displacement, displacement. So let us first see that what is happening in the reaction. Fe2O3 was there and now Al is taking the place of Fe and it is becoming Al2O3 and Fe. So can I say that Al has displaced Fe from this? And how many displacement is happening? Only one displacement is happening. So this is displacement reaction. Third question. What happens when dilute HCl added to iron fillings? What is the meaning of iron fillings? Iron fillings means very thin particles of iron or very thin particles, wire-like particles of iron. So that is iron filling. Now it is reacting with dilute HCl, that is hydrochloric acid. So all this products has been given to us. Now let us first write reaction by ourselves. So this is Fe solid will react with HCl. So this is in liquid dilute HCl. It is dilute HCl. That means it is in aqueous solution. How you are making any acid dilute? By adding water. So this is in aqueous. So now FeHCl. So Fe is going to replace hydrogen from here. So FeCl3 plus H. H cannot be alone anywhere. It has to be H2. So FeCl3 plus H2. Now we have to balance this equation, that FeCl3. So here it is going to be 2 and here it is going to be 2. Here it is. So this is our equation, that we will get FeCl3 plus hydrogen gas. So what is our FeCl3? FeCl3 is iron chloride. So that is iron chloride and hydrogen gas. So answer is A, that we will get hydrogen gas and iron chloride. Here you don't need to balance the equation. Once you will get the product, you can check the answer and tick the one. Fourth question. What is a balanced chemical equation and why it has to be balanced? This question we have discussed in my earlier video when we have started chemical equation. So let us revise it. The balanced chemical equation is an equation where the atoms towards the reactant side are equal with the atoms towards the product side. That means the atoms over the reactant side and product side should be equal. If there are 3 carbon atoms at reactant side, then it has to be 3 carbon atom over product side. That is balanced chemical equation. And why it has to be balanced? By the law of conservation of masses, the equation has to be balanced, because we know that matter cannot be destroyed, matter cannot be generated. It only transforms its form from one form to another. So the whole answer you can also check in this video's description, and I have given the link of that videos in which I have explained you that what is a chemical equation and why it has to be balanced. Fifth question, in that we have to write balanced chemical equation from this word equation or the description of equation. So in that they said that hydrogen gas combines with nitrogen to form ammonia. To form ammonia means this is our product, and hydrogen gas combines with nitrogen, that means this is our reactant 1 combines with nitrogen, so this is our reactant 2. So this 2 reactant will give us this product, but it is not necessary that this can be only one product. We have to see from the reactant that if anything is extra, then it will be our second product. So let us combine these two that hydrogen gas, whenever it is hydrogen gas, it has to be H2. H alone cannot be possible. Then nitrogen. So again N2 gas. Then it will give us ammonia. So what is the molecular formula of ammonia? It is NH3. This is ammonia is also gas. So this is NH3. Now the second step we have to balance it. So this 2 is there, this 2 is there, but here hydrogen is 3. So if I will add here 2, so my nitrogen is balanced, but hydrogen has become 6 now. So now I will add here 3. So my equation is balanced. So this is our balanced chemical equation for this. Let us see our second question. In this, it says that hydrogen sulfide gas burns in air. Whenever any substance is burning in air, that means it is reacting with atmospheric oxygen, because no substance can burn without oxygen. Always combustion will happen in presence of oxygen. So, any combustion, any burning is a reaction with oxygen. So hydrogen sulfide gas burns in air. So hydrogen sulfide H and S. Now S is sulfide. Its valency is 2. So it will be H2S, hydrogen sulfide. S is sulfide, SO3 is sulfite, and SO4 is sulfate. Now burns in air, that means it is a reaction with oxygen. Then it will give us water and sulfur dioxide. That means this is our product 1, this is our product 2, and these two are our reactants. So now we will write water, H2O, and sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide means SO2, dioxide, 2 oxygen, sulfur dioxide. Now we have to balance it. So these are the atoms towards reactant side, H, S, oxygen, towards product side, H, S, and oxygen. So let us count them. Hydrogen 2, sulfur 1, oxygen 2. Now hydrogen are 2, sulfur 1, and oxygen 1 plus 2. So they are 3. So now let us try to balance them. First we will try to balance oxygen. Here they are 3, here they are 2. So if I will add here 2, so now my oxygen are 4. So let us make them 4 here by adding 2. So by doing so, I have changed this 4, and now my oxygen are 4. But by doing so, I have changed hydrogen also. Hydrogen are 4 now. So let us make hydrogen 4. So now my hydrogen are 4. But now if you will see, my sulfur has changed. Sulfur are 2. So now I have to make sulfur 2. How I will do it? I will add here 2. But by doing so, again I have changed the oxygen count towards product side. So oxygen count is now 2 into 2, 4 plus 2. So it is 6. Whereas here oxygen are only 4. This you can change by adding here 3. So if you will add here 3, your oxygen count will change to 6. So now your equation is balanced. Next equation, in this we got that barium chloride reacts with aluminium sulfate. So these two are reacting, and 2 give means now whatever will come will be our products. So let us first write this and this. Barium chloride means BaCl2. Barium chloride reacts with aluminium sulfate. Aluminium sulfate is AlSO4. Now sulfates combining capacity is 2. So Al2, and aluminium's combining capacity is 3. So it will come 3 here. So aluminium sulfate's molecular formula is Al2SO4 thrice. Now it will give us aluminium chloride. Aluminium chloride is AlCl3 plus, and precipitate of barium sulfate. Barium sulfate is again BaSO4. Now Ba is 2 and SO4 is also 2. So it will be BaSO4. So now let us balance the equation. We will write down what all atoms are here. Ba, then Cl, then Al, and S and O. So here our barium is 1, Cl are 2, aluminium are 2, sulfur is 3, and oxygen are 4 into 3, 12 oxygens are there. Now let us check towards product side. Aluminium, we will write how we have written here, so it will be easy for us to tally. Barium, then chloride, then aluminium, sulfur and oxygen. So barium is 1, chlorine are 3, aluminium is 1, sulfur is 1, and oxygen is 4. So now the maximum count is for oxygen. So let us start balancing from oxygen. So here it is 12, here it is 4. So in multiple of 12, we need to add here 3. Once we are adding 3 here, our oxygen is balanced, and that is 12. But by doing so, we have changed sulfur and barium. So here I am going to write 3 for sulfur and 3 for barium. Now let us see. Sulfur is 3, so our sulfur is also balanced. Now barium is 1. So let us balance barium by adding here 3. So now my barium is balanced. But by doing so, I have changed chlorine. Now earlier my chlorine was 2. Now my chlorine is 6. So let us check here. Chlorine are only 3. So if we want to make it 6, we have to add here 2. So let us add 2 here. So my chlorine is balanced. But by doing so, I have changed aluminium. Aluminium has become 2. So here is aluminium 2. So now I think our equation is balanced. If we will see all the atoms, yes, our equation is balanced. So first pick one atom which needs maximum number of balancing, then slowly you pick the another atom which is alongside with that, which has changed because you have adjusted another atom. So slowly by hands-on experience you will learn how to balance an equation. But it requires practice. It comes with practice. Next equation. Potassium metal react with water to give potassium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. After to give, this two will be our product. So this is product 1, this is product 2, and before that this will be our reactant 1 and this will be our reactant 2. So potassium metal, that means K, potassium metal, that means it's solid, then water, H2O, it's liquid, will give us potassium hydroxide. What will be the molecular formula of hydroxide? OH, potassium hydroxide, KOH, plus hydrogen gas. This will be in liquid, and then, but here it is aqueous phase. So here it will be aqueous. Then hydrogen gas, H2, and that is gas. So now let us see and check whether our equation is balanced or not. Potassium, potassium. 2 hydrogen are there. So here 1 hydrogen and 2. So here total 3 hydrogen are there. So I am going to make it 2 here. So now my hydrogen are 4. So I am making it 2 here and 2 here. So now my hydrogen are balanced. 2 plus 2, 4. 2 potassium, 2 potassium. Now let us see for oxygen. 2 oxygen is there. So here also 2 oxygen. So my equation is balanced. Sixth question is balance the chemical equation. First one is HNO3, calcium hydroxide, calcium nitrate and water. So in this, what we have to do first is we have to note down our total reactants. So hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, calcium. So hydrogen is, how many hydrogen are there? This is 2 and this is 1. So 3 hydrogen. Nitrogen 1. Oxygen 3 and 2. So 5. 3 plus 2, 5. And calcium is 1. So nitric acid plus calcium hydroxide will give us calcium nitrate. So how many calcium is there? 1. Nitrate is 3 into 2. So 6. So nitrogen is only 2 and oxygen are 6. Nitrogen is 2 and oxygen are 6. Whereas the hydrogen are 2 and this 6 oxygen plus 1. So 7 oxygen. Now let us see how can we balance this. So nitrate is 2 here. So let us add 2 here. So our nitrate is balanced. So nitrogen 2, oxygen 6. Nitrogen 2, oxygen 6. But by doing so we have changed hydrogen. So 2 hydrogen, 4 hydrogen are there now. So our nitrogen is 2 and oxygen is 6. It has changed now. And by doing so our hydrogen has also changed. 4 plus 2 plus 2. So it is 4 towards this side. Here hydrogen is only 2. So I am adding 2 here. So it will become 4. By doing so I have again changed oxygen. So 6 plus 2, 8 oxygen are there. So now let us calculate 2 hydrogen, 4. Nitrogen 2. Then oxygen, 6 oxygen plus 2. So 6 plus 2, 8. Then calcium, 1 calcium. Now here 1 calcium, nitrogen are 2, oxygen are 8 and hydrogen are 4. So our equation is balanced. Going to next equation. Here how many atoms are there towards reactant side? Sodium, oxygen, hydrogen and sulfur. So let us count them. Sodium is 1, oxygen is 1 here, 4 here. So 5. Hydrogen are 2 and 1. So 3 and sulfur is 1. Same thing towards product side. Sodium is 2, sulfur is 1, oxygen are 4 and 1. So it is 5, 4 plus 1, 5 and hydrogen are 2. So when we are balancing this, 2 Na are here, 1 Na is here. So let us make 2 here. By doing so I am changing Na to 2. Oxygen will be now 2 and 4. So 6 oxygen. And hydrogen will be 2 and 2, 4 hydrogen. So let us check here. Oxygen are 6 to hydrogen if I will add here 2. So now my oxygen are 6 6 and hydrogen will be 4 and sulfur will be 1, 1. So now the equation is balanced. Now third one. NaCl, AgNO3 will give us AgCl, NaNO3. What are their names? Sodium chloride will react with silver nitrate and will give us silver chloride and sodium nitrate. If you will see, then this equation is already balanced. This is NO3, this is NO3, Na, Cl, Cl, Ag, Ag. All are 1, 1 and this equation is already balanced. Next equation. Barium chloride will react with sulfuric acid and will give us barium sulfate and HCl. So, let us write that how many atoms are there towards reactant side. Ba, Cl, hydrogen, sulfur and oxygen. How many barium is there? 1. Chlorine 2. Hydrogen are 2, sulfur 1 and oxygen are 4. Now towards product side, Ba1, then Cl 1, hydrogen 1, sulfur 1, oxygen 4. So what all we need to balance? Barium is already balanced, Cl we have to balance, then hydrogen we have to balance, sulfur is balanced and oxygen is balanced. If you will see here, we have to balance this hydrogen and chlorine. Here they are 2, here they are 1, 1. And whenever you are balancing an equation, just see that whether whatever atoms you need to balance, if they are in one compound, then by simply adding one number in front of that, the whole equation will be balanced. We have to balance these two and these two are combined here. So if you want to make them 2, they are 2 here. If you want to make them 2, just add 2 here and you can balance this whole equation. So first, whenever you are writing these atoms, at that time you figure out that what all things you have to balance, and if the balancing atoms are in a one compound, then simply by adding one number your equation will be balanced. Moving towards our next question 7. So in that balanced chemical equation we have to write. So in this type of questions, whether it can be a sentence or a word equation, or they have just suggest that what all are the reactants or what all are the products, you need to figure it out that what all reactants will react with each other and will give us product. So from that, always the first step will be you have to write a correct molecular formula for reactants, and then towards product side a correct molecular formula for products. And then the second step you have to balance it. But for that you have to, whenever it is a sentence like our previous question, whenever it is a sentence, then you have to figure it out that what all are reacting and what we are getting after their reaction. Here that question will not be there because they have already given that these two are reactant will give us this two product. So let us first write our equation. Calcium hydroxide, that means it is calcium and hydroxide, and molecular formula will be CaOH twice, plus carbon dioxide, carbon 2 oxygen, dioxide, CO2. It will give us calcium carbonate, CaCO3 plus water. So it is H2O. Now let us see that how many atoms are there towards product side and towards reactant side. So calcium, then oxygen, hydrogen and carbon. Calcium is 1, oxygen are 2 plus 2. So 4, hydrogen are 2, carbon is 1. Let us copy this Towards product side, calcium, oxygen, hydrogen and carbon. So how many calcium are there? 1, oxygen 2, 3 plus 1. So 4. Then hydrogen are 2 and carbon is 1. So from this, if you will see, all the atoms towards reactant side and product side are equal. So this reaction is already balanced. Our next equation is zinc plus silver nitrate will give us zinc nitrate and silver. So let us first write our equation. Zinc is Zn plus silver nitrate. Silver is Ag and nitrate is NO3. Both combining capacity is 1 so AgNO3 will be formula. Will give us zinc nitrate ZnNO3. Now zinc's combining capacity is 2 so NO3 will be twice plus silver will be Ag. So if you will see, this is displacement reaction where zinc will displace Ag. So now we will balance this zinc, silver, nitrogen and oxygen. Zinc is 1, silver is 1, nitrogen is 1 and oxygen is 3. Where here zinc, silver, nitrogen and oxygen. Zinc is 1, silver is 1, nitrogen are 2 and oxygen is 3 into 2, 6. What we have to balance? We have to balance nitrogen and oxygen here. So 2 nitrogen, 6 here, they are doubled from this. So here if we will add 2, so we are going to double this, so our NO3 will be double in the amount. But by doing so, we have changed Ag. So it will be 2, so here we have to make it 2. So here if we will add 2, our silver will be 2 here. So now our equation is balanced. Next question. Aluminium plus copper chloride will give us aluminium chloride plus copper. So aluminium plus copper chloride. So it is CuCl2. Then it will give us aluminium chloride AlCl3. Why? Because aluminium's combining capacity is 3. Then plus Cu. Now we have to balance here Cl. So wherever the 2 and 3 will be there, for the balancing we can simply add here 3 and here 2. But by doing so we have changed Cu. So here Cu are 3. So let us add 3 here. So our Cu is balanced now. Now Al are 2. So let us add here 2. So my equation is balanced like that. Next equation is barium chloride plus potassium sulfate will give us barium sulfate and potassium chloride. So now let us write this equation. Barium chloride. So it is BaCl2 plus potassium sulfate. This is potassium, this is sulfate. KSO4. Now sulfate combining capacity is 2. So it is going to be K2SO4. Then barium sulfate BaSO4 plus potassium chloride. So KCl, potassium chloride. Now let us balance this. Here if you will see, 2 chlorine is there, 2 potassium are there. But here they both are 1. So and they are in one compound. So if I will add here 2, they both will be balanced. And barium and sulfate is already 1. So my equation is balanced. Moving towards our next question, that is write a balanced chemical equation and write their type. That means we have to write that this equation is belong to which type. We have learnt decomposition reaction, oxidation, reduction, displacement, double displacement, precipitation reaction. So from that we have to identify the type of the reaction. One of the video in which I have taught you that how to remember each and every equation in simple manner. So that video's link I have given in the description. If you have any doubt, please watch that video. Now first, potassium bromide will react with barium iodide and will give us potassium iodide and barium bromide. If you will see here, the state of both the reactants are aqueous, but when you will see at the product side, one is aqueous and the second one is solid. So when both reactant are liquid and at the product side one product is liquid and another one is solid, it is termed as a precipitation reaction, and our reaction will be potassium bromide. So KBr, both combining capacity is 1 plus barium iodide, so BaI2 will give us potassium iodide. Potassium iodide Ki, here it is aqueous, here it is aqueous, here also it is aqueous, and plus barium bromide, so it is BaBr2 and it is solid. So this reaction type is precipitation reaction. And now let us see that our reaction is balanced or not. I is 2 here and here Br is 2. So let us make Br2 here and here it is 2. So we need to balance this by writing here 2. So our equation is balanced and type of reaction is precipitation reaction. Going to the next question, zinc carbonate will give us zinc oxide and carbon dioxide. We have learned that when one reactant is there and it is giving us multiple product, so it is decomposition reaction. When one compound we are breaking, decomposing, and we will get multiple products, then it is decomposition reaction. Now let us write this. Zinc carbonate is ZnCO3 and it will give us zinc oxide ZnO, which is solid, plus carbon dioxide, it is CO2 and it is gas. So now oxygen are 3 here, here 1 oxygen, here 2. So 3, zinc is 1, carbon is 1. So our equation is balanced. And the type of equation is decomposition reaction. Another equation, hydrogen will react with chlorine, will give us hydrogen chloride. So let us write this. H2 gas plus chlorine gas will give us hydrogen chloride, and that is also a gas. Now balancing it by adding just 2 at the product side. Now if you will see, when both the reactant are combining and giving us one product, then it is combination reaction. When we are combining, then it is known as combination reaction. Combination reaction is opposite of decomposition reaction. In the decomposition reaction, one reactant will give multiple product. Here multiple reactant will give one product. Now next one, magnesium plus hydrochloric acid will give us magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas. So let us write this. Magnesium, it is solid, plus hydrochloric acid HCl in aqueous will give us magnesium chloride. Magnesium chloride MgCl2 in aqueous phase plus hydrogen gas. So if you will see here, this magnesium has replaced hydrogen from hydrochloric acid. So displacement is happening and it is one displacement. So this is displacement reaction. And now coming to the balancing of equation, 2 chlorine, 2 hydrogen. So by simply adding 2 here, we can balance the equation. And the type of equation is displacement reaction. Now let us understand question 30. What all question I have skipped, those questions are direct questions and you can check from the textbook, or you can just see from my earlier video, there I have explained it in a detail. So 13.1 is, what is the difference between displacement reaction and double displacement reaction? Whenever you will get a question like this, that give us a difference in between decomposition reaction and combination reaction, displacement reaction and double displacement reaction, first point you have to write that you have to explain that reaction, that what is happening in the reaction, that 1 ion displacement is happening, 2 ion displacement is happening, and there its definition you have to write. And in the second point you have to mention one example for that kind of reaction. And if you know, then you can write third point for any additional information, otherwise 2 points are well enough. So in this first point I have given an equation, reaction for both. In displacement reaction, in this Fe will displace Cu and will give us FeSO4 and Cu, and here sodium sulfate, barium chloride will give us barium sulfate and sodium chloride. Now what is this reaction is, more reactive metal will replace less reactive metal at the product side. You don't need to write a perfect definition for that reaction. You can write what is happening in the reaction, that will be enough. So here double displacement reaction, reactants will exchange their ions and form products. Here we know that this is positive, this is negative. They will exchange with another reactants, positive and negative. So it will be like this, positive will react with this and negative will react with this. So reactants will exchange their ions and form products. Then third point, 1 ion will be displaced. Only 1 ion will displaced, where here 2 ions will be displaced from the reactant side. So this is all about the difference between displacement reaction and double displacement reaction. 14th question. In the refining of silver from silver nitrate solution involved displacement by copper. Write down the reaction for it. So first we will give reason that it involves copper for the displacement, and then we will write a reaction. So what is a refining of metal? Refining of metal means we are extracting metal from an ore or from solution. Here we have silver nitrate solution. So what is the formula for silver nitrate? It is AgNO3. Silver nitrate solution. Now from this we need silver. In refining of silver, we are extracting silver. So now here they have given that it involves displacement by copper. That means this displacement will happen by copper. Ag's place will be taken by copper. So what reaction we will get after that? Here Ag will get displaced by Cu. So it will be CuNO3 and it will be twice, and then we will get Ag here. So now NO3 is 2. So we have to balance it by adding here 2, and by doing so we have made changes in Ag. So we have balanced silver also. So now this is our balanced equation for this refining of Ag from AgNO3. But now why this has happened? Because copper is more reactive compared to silver. Earlier what all reaction we have seen, in that we have seen this Fe, Zn, then Mg, all are more reactive compared to Cu. So from CuSO4 they are displacing Cu and they are taking place with SO4. So at the product side we will get FeSO4, ZnSO4 and MgSO4 because all these three are more reactive compared to Cu. Now here in this case the silver is less reactive compared to Cu. So Cu will take the place of silver. Copper is more reactive than silver, and in displacement reaction what will happen? The more reactive atom will take the place of less reactive atom. So in refining process of silver from silver nitrate solution we are using copper as a displacement atom. So this is a reaction, and why we are using copper? Because copper is more reactive compared to silver. 17th question, it says that a shiny brown element acts on heating in air becomes black. Earlier it was shiny brown, now it is black. So name the element X. Now shiny brown element is copper. Copper is brown color when it is a copper in its neutral state, but when it is combining with SO4 it becomes CuSO4, it will become blue in color. So CuSO4's crystal will impart blue color in the water, but when we are talking about only Cu metal then it is brown color, shiny brown color. Now when we are heating copper in presence of air, that means copper will react with oxygen from the air and it will give us, copper will combine with oxygen. So it will give us copper oxide. Now we need to balance this, so we are adding 2 here and 2 here. So this is copper oxide. So the copper oxide is black in color whereas copper is brown in color. So once we are heating the copper it will become black, and what we will get is copper oxide. Copper, when we are burning it in the air, it will react with oxygen and we will get copper oxide, and that is black in color. 18th question is, why do we apply paint on iron article or iron metal? So the answer is, earlier we have discussed in corrosion that iron metal will get easily rusted when it comes in a contact with air, moisture or acid like substance. So to protect iron, what we need to do? We have to do a paint on that. This paint will make a protective layer on the iron article and it will save iron from the outside factors like air, moisture and acid. So you can put your answer like this, that iron article tend to get rusted when it comes in a contact with air, moisture or acid. So to protect iron from these outside atmospheric factors, we need to apply paint which make a protective layer on articles. So these points are very important, that first, that is, it is tend to get rusted when it comes in a contact with all these factors, and then we are applying paint, so it will make a protective layer on the iron. It will save iron from getting rusted. The last question is, oil and fat containing food items are flushed with nitrogen. Why? So oil and fats will get rancid in presence of atmospheric oxygen. That means whatever food items which contains oil and fats in them will get rancid when it is coming in contact with atmospheric oxygen. So these food items will be flushed with nitrogen. What is the meaning of flushed with nitrogen? That into that packets they will flush, or they will put nitrogen. With pressure they will put nitrogen into those packets. That's why the chips packets or any namkeen packets will be puffed when you are buying it. So flushed with nitrogen to avoid contact with air or atmospheric oxygen. We need to avoid contact. That oil and fats needs to avoid contact with air or atmospheric oxygen. Then only they will remain fresh for longer period of time. So to avoid that contact, we are not adding air, or we are replacing air with the nitrogen. So when it comes in contact with nitrogen, it will not get rancid. But when it will come in a contact with air or oxygen, they will get rancid. So we are adding nitrogen, or we are flushed with nitrogen to avoid contact with air or atmospheric oxygen. So do you feel that this video has solved your doubt and helped in your learning? If yes, then give us a like, and if no, then post your question in a comment box. We will try to help you out. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in next video.